we knew coming down here this was going to be a hard-fought game, and it proved to be just that. Ton of free throws, ton of fouls, a lot of driving, a lot of rebounding. Um, Central Florida has improved so much, and it makes us feel really good to be able to walk away with the win today, because it also indicates that we're getting a little better too. Um, Really proud of our young ladies, because they've been challenged a lot here in the last couple of weeks by us as a staff, where they've had to really look in the mirror and answer some really tough questions, and they continue to rise to the occasion, and I'm really proud of them for that.
What is the difference between the UCF team you saw in Ohio versus the UCF team you play tonight?
I saw more people being intentional about scoring. And we anticipated that a little bit, because when we played them the first time, Peterson has 35, and it seemed like as if everyone kind of stood around and watched her a little bit. And then we noticed just a game after that it looked a lot different. And so I'm sure that Satia challenged her team as well and said it can't just be one player. You got to figure out how to get everybody involved. And they have been doing that. And I think that's reflected in them having 4 double-digit scores today.
What specific things about Cincinnati's performance do you think helped them secure the win tonight?
Yeah, even though we got out rebounded, I think only the second time in Big 12 play that has happened. I thought that we got some really crucial rebounds down the stretch. Despite the foul call, I thought that we walled up and defended without fouling when it really, really mattered. And those were some huge stops there at the end. The reality is, anytime you ask me that, I'm always going to say rebounding and defense. Of course, we knocked down some free throws down the stretch, and that's always big. But for the totality of the game, just being able to rebound the ball and getting just enough stops.
Coach, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you.
Tight game from start to finish. What did you talk about at halftime?
So I can't quite figure it out about us on the road. It is night and day. And so I went in the locker room and I told them this is a hard team to coach. When you do not play with urgency, when you're not scrappy, when you're not all over the place like we just were in our last game, I don't know what to do with that. And so you tell me what it is that you want to run, that you'll run hard with some pace. You tell me how you want to defend, that you're going to be locked into. And so in the start of the third quarter, they came to the huddle and they had some suggestions, and that's what we did. And that's how we started the third quarter. And I think that probably took a little bit of pressure and angst out of it too for them. But yeah, it's always about them. We put together a plan, but they always have to execute it.
What's the biggest difference between the team when they didn't have a lot of fouls from the other team versus when you started to really rack up those fouls for on UCF at the end there?
Yeah, I think that it's really hard, and I say it all the time. Officiating is a really hard job, especially when you play 2 driving, rebounding, tough, attacking, teams together. And I think that all you have to keep doing is staying the course. If we're, I don't know what we are anymore, but probably top 15 or 20, in the country in free throws attempted. So we have to continue to be aggressive and attacking, because that's just the way we play, regardless of how we feel the other team is playing or how the game is being officiated, which I thought they did a great job. We walked out of there even, which hardly ever happens. But we just had to continue to be aggressive. That third quarter was tough, though, when we were both in the bonus early. And I'm sure both teams were trying to not foul and put each other on the free throw line. So we were really happy when that third quarter was over.
What specific things about this game will help prepare you for the next game?
Oh, goodness, just toughness. We had to execute down the stretch, too. These close games, they put you in a position when your heart beats just a little faster and the ball's just a little more slippery. And I think that when you have that experience, then you can carry that into the next game. It's really hard when you haven't done that before, you haven't been there. And fortunately, we've had it a few times, and this was the first time we came on top on the road. So the plan is to continue to take that forward into the rest of the season.
Coaches, Cincinnati, UCF, BYU, and Houston, new schools in the Big 12. We're about halfway through competition in the conference. What's the difference in Big 12 competition and maybe the AAC?
Yeah, and here's the thing about coaching in the AAC, which was for 2 years, and I coached in the Horizon League for 5, and you run into some really awesome coaches, some tenured coaches, and they've been in, just like we talked about, all sorts of situations, and they know what they do when all these things happen. And I think that for me personally, being a year 8 and being fairly young in this thing, the strategy just always makes you sweat, because you know that the coach on the other side, like a Satia, who was an assistant forever in the Big 12. So she's seen this level, that sort of thing. So it's just simply going to be that there are no nights off. There are no bad teams. And you're going to have to show up every day. You can't mark wins on your schedule, kind of how you felt like you could maybe once or twice, in the AAC. That's a no-go. Even with each other. I don't think us, the newcomers, I don't think we're marking each other as wins either. So it's just a gauntlet. We just got to get prepared and battle and find the right balance of practicing, preparing, and resting.
You needed a last-second layup to get the win in Ohio. You got this one by a couple of baskets. What's the difference in your team between the last time you faced the Knights and tonight?
We just execute our game plan much better for longer. I think that we were having very long stretches of scoring droughts, very long stretches of not being able to get key stops, and those have shortened. And so I think that we don't play any different per se. I think that as the season has gone along and we have gotten our players back, because we also have had some in and out, and that's kind of hard to get a rhythm. I think that all of those are factors in how we're just taking steps forward.
How much did Jillian Hayes really play a role in you guys' victory tonight?
Oh, she's always tremendous. Even when, 13 and 11, another double-double for her is just her working. Jill is an absolute workhorse. It doesn't matter what you ask her to do. No task is too small for her. Everything that she does, from boxing out, rebounding, to finishing, to running the floor, she takes pride in every single thing she does. So even when she's not having a great game, her being on the floor is good for us.
You might not have been playing in it long, but from what you've seen so far, what do you think the key is to succeed in Big 12 basketball?
Oh, I mean, every coach is going to tell you you have to have really good players, because no matter what we do, we're all running the same stuff, right? No one's putting in an entirely different system halfway through or towards the end. So players really have to make plays. And I think that our job is to put them in positions to be successful. And as long as you can do that, then you have a chance to score points. Because in this league, it can just be tough. It's very physical. Teams are very aggressive. Again, most of us rebound and defend and shoot a bunch of free throws. So just being tough, the road is not easy. And you go in these arenas and some are packed and some are just disturbing and loud, like you all's band. I was watching our kids shoot free throws, and I said, no wonder we can make any free throws in the first half with all that going on. So yeah, all in all, it's just about digging in and being tough.
All right, awesome. Best of luck in the next match, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to y'all too. Thank you.